All right, our top focus. Israel has expressed its commitment to a U.S. proposal to take over Gaza and displace the Palestinian residents.
And this is as U.S. top diplomat holds talks in Saudi Arabia on the future of the war-torn Gaza Strip. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu said that he is committed to U.S. President Trump's plan for the creation of a different Gaza, also promising that after the war there will be neither Hamas nor the Palestinian Authority ruling the territory.
Bibi, I want to say it's an honor to have you with us. And with the historic Abraham Accord, something that was really an achievement that was over the past 16 months, Israel has endured a sustained, aggressive, and murderous assault, grave damage around the globe that was done, including...
Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz said that a special agency would be established for the voluntary departure of Gazans within the Ministry of Defense.
Furthermore, Israel's far-right finance minister Bezalel Smotrich said that Hamas militants must surrender their arms and leave Gaza.
If
Hamas refuses this ultimatum, Israel will open the gates of hell, a total, swift and complete conquest of the Gaza Strip, a full halt to aid, no more water, no more electricity, no more fuel. The entire population will be relocated to a designated area and Israel will immediately begin implementing the migration of Gaza's residents to other countries.
Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who arrived from Israel accompanied by National Security Advisor Mike Waltz and Special Middle East Envoy Steve Witkoff, discussed the Gaza deal with Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Rubio and the Crown Prince reaffirmed their commitment to implementing the ceasefire in Gaza and ensuring that Hamas releases all hostages, including American citizens.
Rubio underscored the importance of an arrangement for Gaza that contributes to regional security. The United States said it is open to alternative proposals from Arab governments.
According to reports, Riyadh will host a regional summit later this week to discuss Arab alternatives to President Trump's widely criticized plan for Gaza. Egypt, Jordan, UAE, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar and Kuwait will be represented at this Friday summit.
Egypt's state-run Al-Ahram newspaper said that Cairo is developing a plan to rebuild Gaza without forcing Palestinians out of the Strip. The proposal calls for establishing secure areas within Gaza where Palestinians can live initially, while Egyptian and international construction firms remove and rehabilitate the Strip's infrastructure. Meanwhile, Jordan's King Abdullah II reiterated he was against forcing Palestinians out of the Gaza Strip and said a two-state solution was the only way towards peace.
Both displacement in Gaza and the West Bank and reconstruction of Gaza without displacement. I stress the importance of working to reduce escalation in the West Bank and that a just and comprehensive peace based on the two-state solution is the only way to achieve stability in the region.
In Israel, marking the 500th day since 7th of October 2023 and the attack that took place on that day, thousands took to the streets of Jerusalem and Tel Aviv to demand the release of 73 hostages still held in Gaza. In Jerusalem, protesters gathered outside Prime Minister Netanyahu's residence, chanting slogans for the release of all hostages.
Some chained themselves to a mock cage on the ground to illustrate the way some of the released hostages testified to being held in captivity.
In Tel Aviv, thousands gathered for a rally in a central square, now known as the Hostages Square, where hostages' family members addressed the crowd. Not far away from there, outside Israel's defense ministry, scores of others gathered with the same aim, demanding the release of all hostages.
Now, there's been growing alarm that the ceasefire agreement could unravel before the end of the 42-day first stage of the truce pact in effect since the 19th of January, leaving many families worried about the return of their loved ones.
19 Israeli and 5 Thai hostages have been released so far, with 73 still in captivity, around half of whom have been declared dead in absentia by Israeli authorities.
Now, Israel is expecting to receive the bodies of 4 hostages from Hamas on Thursday under the provisions of the first stage of an ongoing ceasefire deal. According to Israeli media reports, the agreement with Hamas stipulates that the bodies of a number of hostages will be returned to Israel on the 33rd day of the ceasefire, which is Thursday. The IDF has already begun preparations for their return.
Meanwhile, according to a poll aired on Israel's Channel 12, 61% of Israelis support continuing with the hostage deal's second phase, which would see the release of all remaining living hostages in exchange for a permanent end to the war, while 26% oppose phase 2 and instead prefer returning to war. 13% say they are unsure. The survey polled 501 Israelis above the age of 18, and there is a 4.4% margin of error.